Dear friends, in this session we learn about analysis of long transmission line by rigorous method. Classification of overhead transmission line, we will see some small overview of this one. So transmission lines are classified into long transmission line, medium transmission line, short transmission line. Then generally short transmission lines are about 50 kilometer and working voltage is about less than 20 kilovolts. But medium transmission lines are from 50 to 150 kilometer and generally they operate 20 kilovolts to 100 kilovolts, and long transmission lines generally operate more than 100 kilovolts. Then we'll see, depending upon the manner in which capacitance is taken into account, the classification of overhead transmission line you can see. See, as short transmission lines are very small and working voltage is very less, therefore capacitance is neglected in short transmission line, whereas in medium and long transmission line capacitance is considered. In medium transmission line the capacitance is considered as shunt capacitance, where R and L or resistance and reactance are considered to be in series. So now we will see the representation of long transmission line. Before going to the representation of long transmission line, we will again review the important terms. If you want to calculate parameters or performance of any transmission line, you have to consider these important terms. Voltage regulation. When a transmission line is carrying current, there is a voltage drop in the line due to resistance and inductance of the line. The result is receiving end voltage of line is generally less than the sending end voltage Vs. This voltage drop Vs minus Vr in the line is expressed as the percentage of receiving end voltage Vr and is called voltage regulation. Mathematically it is represented as Vs minus Vr by Vr into 100. It is expected to be less. The value of voltage regulation should be less. The transmission efficiency. The power obtained at receiving end of transmission line is generally less than the sending end power due to losses in the line resistance. The ratio of receiving end power to the sending end power of a transmission line is known as the transmission efficiency of the line. The transmission efficiency is calculated in such a way that receiving end power divided by sending end power multiplied by 100. So if you go for direct formulas, that is equals to VRIR cos pi r by VSIS cos pi s into 100, where VR is receiving end voltage, IR is receiving end current, cos pi r is power factor of receiving end, whereas Vs is sending end voltage, Is is sending end current, cos pi s is sending end power factor. Then we will see long transmission line. It is well known that line constant of a transmission line are uniformly distributed over the entire length of the line. However, the reasonable accuracy can be obtained in line calculation for short and medium lines by considering these constants as lumped. In general, we consider up to 150 kilometer the line constants as considered as lumped parameters, but actual they are distributed parameters for our calculation purpose in short and medium transmission line. But this assumption will not be valid for long transmission line. If such an assumption of lumped constant is applied to long transmission line, it is found that serious error are introduced in the performance calculation. Therefore, in order to obtain fair degree of accuracy in the performance, calculation of long lines, the line constants are considered as uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. A rigorous mathematical treatment is required for the solution of such lines. Then in general we represent the long transmission line in this fashion. The figure shows the equivalent circuit of three-phase long transmission line on a phase neutral basis. The whole length of line is divided into n section, each section having line constant, 1/n of those whole line. That is a resistance. If I consider total resistance of line is R per phase, then every length is divided into n section. For each section resistance, the resistance will be R by N. Similarly, reactance will be XL by N. Similarly, susceptance will be B by N, and conductance will be G by N. The following points you have to note. The first point is the line constants are uniformly distributed over the entire length of line, as is actually the case. The resistance and inductive reactance are in the series elements. The leakage susceptance and leakage conductance are shunt elements. The leakage susceptance is due to fact that capacitance exists between line and neutral. The leakage conductance takes into account the energy occurring through the leakage over the insulator or due to corona effects between the conductors. The leakage current through shunt admittance is maximum at the sending end of the line and decreases continuously as the receiving end of the circuit is approached, at which point its value is 0. Then we will see analysis of transmission line with rigorous method. So consider as per circuit diagram, consider a small element of the line dx situated x distance from the receiving end. So please do remember, the distance between receiving end to that point is x distance, where in that one z is equals to series impedance of the line per unit length, y is shunt admittance of the line per unit length, where v is voltage at the end of the elements towards the sending end, and I v plus dv voltage at the end of towards sending end, v voltage at the end of elements towards receiving end, I plus dl current entering the element dx, I is equals to current leaving the element dx. So from the circuit diagram you can get the I plus IDL is the current entering the element dx, then I is the current leaving the element dx. Similarly, from sending end voltage V plus dV, but receiving end voltage will be only V towards receiving end voltage. Then if consider a small element dx, Z dx is equals to series impedance, Y ds is equals to shunt admittance. So dV is equals to Iz dx, dV by dx is equals to I into Z. Then further, if you realize, now if you consider the current entering the element is I plus dl di, whereas the current leaving the element is I. The difference in the current flows through the shunt admittance of the element is di, that is current through the shunt admittance Vy dx. So di by dx is equals to Vy. So differentiating the equation, above equation with respect to x, then we will get d square Vx square is equals to Z di dx, that is equals to Z Vy. Then further, if you realize, d square V by dx square is equals to y into Zv. So the solution of the above differential equation will be in the form of V is equals to k1 cos h x square root of yz plus k2 sin h x square root of yz. Then further, if you realize the above equation by differentiating, dv by dx is equals to k1 yz sin h x x square root of yz plus k2 square root of yz cos h x square root of yz. So but dv by dx is equals to Iz. Then if you further realize, I is equals to square root of yz multiplied by k1 sin h x square root yz plus k2 cos h x square root of yz. So equations give the expressions v and y in the form of unknown constants k1 and k2. Now we have to consider the cases so as to calculate the values of k1 and k2. So at x is equals to 0, that is at receiving end, v is equals to vr and I is equals to IR. Then if you substitute that one, v is equals to x is equals to 0, then you will get vr is equals to k1. Similarly, putting x is equals to 0, v is equals to vr and I is equals to IR in equation 5, then we will get IR is equals to square root of yz into k2. So k2 value will get k2 is equals to square root of zy by IR. If you substitute these values in the equations of k1 and k2, then v is equals to vr cos h x square root of yz plus z by y IR sin h xy square root of z. Then I is equals to square root of yz vr sin h x square root of yz plus IR cos h x square root of yz. The sending end voltage Vs and sending end current are obtained by putting x is equals to L in the above equation, that is considering the total length. Actually, the purpose of calculating V and I is to calculate the relation between Vs and Vr plus IR, then Is relation in terms of Vr into IR. If you substitute L in that case, then Vs is equals to Vr cos h L square root of yz, then z plus z by y square root IR sin h L square root of yz. Similarly, Is is equals to square root of yz Vr sin h I square root of yz plus IR cos h L square root of yz. Then if you substitute L square root of yz and you then you go for the values of total, then if you multiply small l multiplied by small y, that you will get the total admittance. If you multiply small l with the small z, then you will get total resistance. Then you go for if you substitute the l inside the square root, then small ly square root of small ly small lz, that is square root of total shunt admittance of the line multiplied by total series impedance of the line. Similarly, if you go for the square root of small yz y by z, then by multiplying by numerator and denominator by small l, then you will get the square root of total shunt admittance of the line divided by total series impedance of the line. If you substitute these values in the above equation, then total expression will be in terms of Vs in terms of Vr and IR and Is in terms of Vr and IR. So where Vs is equals to Vr cos h square root of yz plus IR zy sin h square root of yz, then Is is equals to Vr square root of yz sin h square root of yz plus IR cos h square root of yz. So to expand this hyperbolic function, so it is helpful to expand the hyperbolic sine and cosine function. So the functions are cos square root of yz is equals to 1 plus zy by 2 plus z square y square by 24 plus so on. Similarly, sine square root of yz is equals to square root of yz plus yz to the power of 3 by 2 by 6 plus so on. So this is how we generally calculate the performance of a long transmission line by regress method. Thank you very much.